Hey everyone, it has been far too long. Welcome back, welcome myself back. Let's talk about the games and level design. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing on and making the games that you all love. You're joining me, your host, senior level designer, Max Hess. It has been a crazy long time, I think about 2 months, since I last posted, and I do apologize for everyone there. This is just down to a few personal reasons, which we'll kind of get into as the episode goes on and talk about where have I been, what have I been up to. Looking forward to asking questions for you to respond to me, because I know that many of you have been busy doing incredible things as well, which has been great for me to see as well through social media, and some of you communicating to me as well on the Level Design Lobby Discord and just chatting. Really kind of a laid back episode compared to the more traditional focused ones, because I wanted to kind of do a small episode talking about, like I said, where I've been, what I've been up to, and kind of the state of, I guess, in a sense, the industry, but not too much on that, but just seeing what's been happening, kind of catching up on news on elements like that. So, yeah, without further ado, let's kind of jump into it. But first, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is none other than me. What I've done, everyone, and I hope you're excited for this, is I've actually created a level design kind of store. What I've done in this store is put up different kinds of tips and tricks that you can find there, whether that be my actual ebook itself, to that of level design pamphlets focused on different things such as traversal, stealth, breaking into the industry, as well as different talks that I have done which you cannot find anywhere else other than on this store. So if you are looking to improve on your level design skills and processes, then check out the Level Design Store, which will be down in the description below, where there'll be a link to find this. All you need to do is head over to gumroad.com/level design lobby. I hope you like what you see, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you, and now back to the show. So, first and foremost, we talk about a few different kind of news stories. I know we don't normally cover news on this channel, but I just think that a couple of topics have been happening while I've been away. So I thought we'd start a bit more lighthearted before we get on to myself. And let's talk about the first one that I just think is really interesting to talk about. And I'm sure many of you already know about this, but it's more about kind of the perspective and the actual story itself. And that coming down to the leak of GTA 6. So, like I said, I'm sure many of you have seen this, and just the reaction of the public. And that was quite an interesting one to see, and also a bit of a shame as well, just because I don't think leaks are generally a good thing. Now, I've worked at obviously two big companies, or two biggest in Europe in terms of Ubisoft and CD Projekt Red. And both studios have experienced leaks during the time that I worked there. And that doesn't sound particularly great, making it seem like I was the common denominator. It's nothing with that. I'm more referring to Ubisoft. When I was working on Division, there wasn't any leaks on Division that I'm aware of, or none come to mind. However, there were definitely leaks on the Assassin's Creeds that were being developed at the time when I was working, like I said, working there. And obviously there was stuff being leaked about work conditions at CD Projekt Red as well at the time. And there are obviously journalists who kind of, thrive to get that information and really benefit themselves, their careers, and also the click-through. Because as we know, clicks is the biggest thing, not necessarily good news or journalism for the most part. I know that's my kind of opinion, but that's my honest thoughts on kind of sadly where journalism, especially in the game industry, is. But I think the thing that made me kind of sad was the lack of understanding. I see it occasionally, but from that of the public, right? There's a reason why companies don't want to share information. It's amazing to me because people, sadly will hack. Journalists will try get people to share information or whatever. I remember there's a famous tweet. I don't know if it's famous, but one that kind of I saw was ridiculous. It was by Jason Schreier, who at the time was talking about how Assassin's Creed had leaked. It was before the. It was while I was at CD Projekt Red. It was before the reveal of Keanu Reeves, and I remember thinking, God, this is going to be spoiled. I just knew it. But Jason Schreier tweeted out about how, if you're a journalist, it shouldn't be frowned upon that we're trying to break news about games being made and leaking that stuff there. But I think it's silly because games companies aren't trying to hide that information from anyone, right? They're trying to show it and reveal it in a way that will excite people, because we've seen with the GTA 6 leaks that, hey, people don't think anything good of it, which is ridiculous because it's just in development, right? There's a reason why it's important for especially teams that have PR and marketing, and again, they do a lot of work behind the scenes alongside the devs as well to make sure that when announcements happen, they're a hit. Now, Rockstar are very different because they don't follow the traditional route in terms of announcement trailers at E3. These cons, they are so huge. The GTA franchise is so massive. I mean, Christ, GTA 5 has been released on how many platforms now? I remember picking that up on PS3 back when I was at university. And I don't even want to think how long it's been since I was at university, to be honest. And as I said, just to see some people's reaction very differ from one another, and we're talking about players as well. I'm sure most of you who listen to this podcast don't think that same way, because most of it is aspiring game devs and already experienced game devs, so it's not necessarily anything new for us in terms of what we see. But as I said, it does blow my mind at times, and I wonder for others as well, how much sometimes, because a lot of my friends are in game dev, and I imagine a lot of people that everyone speaks to here are primarily in game dev, not everyone obviously, but thinking how little the public understands. I remember when Evan Hill had done the interview on Game Maker's Toolkit, a great one on his intro in the very first level where Ellie goes off to find Joel in that cabin out in the snow kind of woods area. And he talked about it took about a year to develop that, if not a couple. Everyone was blown away by how long that takes, and that's not obviously consistently, as we know, we're constantly moving back and forth between missions. But I think it is just a strange one. I do wonder if being more honest, more transparent is a good or a bad thing. Obviously, one of the things that we've seen is more studios show solidarity with games showing the early stages. But I think it's interesting they showed the early stages of games that have already released, So I wonder if transparency is an overall better thing. Ninja Theory did a very transparent, or the most transparent I had seen from a respected developer of that lineage on the first Hellblade, right? So there's a lot on seeing how that has garnished respect. I don't know numbers. I'd be curious on how that affected, or if it did affect anything like that. But yeah, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts. I don't think they're particularly relevant in many ways, and the story's probably old news by the time this episode releases. So I wanted to first talk about that. I guess other news is Cyberpunk selling over 20 million copies recently. I think that was announced a couple days ago of me recording this, maybe even a little bit longer. And just kind of seeing Cyberpunk's resurgence has been very, well, heartwarming in many ways, but also very kind of shocking in others. I worked on that for about goodness gracious, for a long time, over 3.5 years. So obviously there was time I worked on the new DLC that's been announced, Phantom Liberty, as well. So that was to say, and the game's almost 2 years old now as well. It's well over 1.5, and to see it come from an anime of all places that has resurged the interest in the game again is something I didn't think that was possible. I mean, I was in Japan on Tokyo Game Show when some of the meetings, obviously discussing between CD Projekt Red and Trigger were happening, and again, I really wasn't involved in that. I'm just saying I was there in the background for some meetings, but not Edge Runners. I really didn't do anything with. That's all towards all that member of the team and Trigger. As I've seen, if some of you have seen from my Twitter, that there were a couple of locations of mine that were used, but I was unaware of those locations being used, to be honest. So when I first watched it, I was really surprised as well.
At Level Design Lobby, we believe everybody has a story to tell. Hobbyist or student, freelancer or veteran, we made it our mission to unite those who share our passion for creating and developing great games. Thanks to our generous Patreon backers, we've been able to do just that. So if you've already pledged your support, thank you. If not, you too can ensure the future of Level Design Lobby, helping us to create even more exciting content, collaborations, interviews, and much more. With awesome perks and rewards, whether you're a seasoned professional or just getting started, you're sure to find something for you. Want to share tips, tricks, and advice with passionate, like-minded developers? Our awesome community Discord has you covered. Fancy practicing your level design, creating strong portfolio content, and having fun? Then try our level design weekends. Or perhaps you want to individually discuss your work, hone your skills, or level up your career? Then consider our one-on-one mentorships. If you share our vision, then go to patreon.com/Level Design Lobby for more information and to pledge your support. Thank you.
But it kind of feels like the response it's been getting is kind of the one you hope for when a game launches, right? At the start, you hope everyone loves it. You're getting these really warm receptions. Everyone's talking about it. As when the game launched, it was a very bitter experience. Like how we went from all these reviews and to then seeing it, and yeah, I mean, I didn't want to play it when it came out, in terms of just not because the game was bad. There's a lot of incredible things on there. The reason that I didn't want to play was because of how it had launched, and it made me very upset, and it hurt a lot. So to see this whole new love and response come back has really been heartwarming. But it's also very strange as well, because, as I said, I've left CD Projekt Red as of this month. It'll be a year ago now this month, and a lot of the people that I used to work with and very close friends with have left. Not all. There are still some friends I have still at CD, but a lot of them left as well. So it's a shame to not be able to get that kind of warm celebration from it, and also the weird feeling of this anime has done so much for the game, and obviously the patches have done a lot as well, but I don't think the power of this cross kind of media work it can be understated. I think it's honestly incredible to see what has happened, to see how it has enticed players. I really loved the anime as well. Really was impressed by it. I don't think I wanted to watch the ending because I could see where it was roughly going, and to see Adam Smasher in there was also really, really cool. I think his interactions were fantastic throughout. So yeah, that's been really interesting to see and to watch again from a different point of view. As I said, I've been gone for a year off the project, and I know obviously some friends who are obviously still working on Phantom Liberty, and I'm really excited to see that. I'm glad that has been announced finally as well. Again, if those of you follow me on Twitter, you'll have seen a screenshot from the trailer, which is a level that I worked on. And I'm excited to see the end result. I hope hoping that, again, it's received well and that the launch is a solid one. So yeah, I just want to talk about my feelings on that. And I guess kind of now transitioning into that of now where have I been? So I apologize for not communicating clearer. I don't think this year's been a smooth year for the podcast. And I mean, this month in September, it's now been 5 years of this podcast, and I don't think this is the full fourth to fifth year I would have liked for the podcast. It's just a lot happening. Recently, I just lost my grandfather, which has been very tough for me. It's not been easy. On top of that, earlier the year, I lost someone else close to me as well, which wasn't great. And I was still trying to figure out where I wanted the voice of the podcast to go, and still am. I still think there are things missing, and I don't think I've handled certain things particularly well professionally in terms of communicating with sponsors or guests and things, and that's, again, my fault. So anyone who's listening, I am sorry about that. It's completely my fault for it. And kind of just talking about that, I think also the transition now of switching to freelance has been a real juggling act for time and figuring that out, because I don't think I've been doing the best job for the Patreon members as well with balancing what I've done with each kind of new gig. I remember there was 1 month where there was just a lot going on. I'm really grateful, let's just make it absolutely clear, for each opportunity I get with freelancing. If anything, I've been blown away by how many opportunities I've been given, working with some more amazing teams, some I can't share about yet, but we saw that of Ubisoft announcing The Division Resurgence, which is one of the projects that I worked on as a consultant and reviewer of levels by Timmy Studios, which is owned by Tencent over in Hong Kong. But they did a great job. Some of their work has been so impressive to see so many different kind of ideas on the pre-existing universe. So to work on another Division title as well, one that holds near and dear to my heart, I think it's great to be involved with that. Another one that just got announced, got its first gameplay reveal trailer at TGS about a couple of weeks ago, was, and I always butcher this, Entoria, The Last Song, which, again, you can go look at that by Gemma Games, which is another place that I was doing some consulting and LD work on as well. So fantastic. And then there's others, again, I don't think I can announce at this moment in time yet. That's already just a few. So to have all of that, again, has been incredible. To work on a range of different games already in a year's span. God, amazing. And then doing different courses with CGMA, obviously my own mentorship to work with some of you, has been incredible. So it really has been an aspect that I'm trying to figure out more, is a balancing act. Now, I can't promise I'll be back to once every week coming up, just because I'm actually moving back to the UK in the end of October. So I'm sure that's going to eat up a lot of time trying to find a place. Moving, always a hassle. But I'm going to be starting to come back towards this and try to be more active. And I want to get back into this because I have missed the podcast. I do enjoy working with my team behind the scenes, as well as recording this and hearing a lot of your work. I've been getting some great messages and emails from many supportive people who listen to the show. So thank you very much for all that you have. I want to be talking, again, more back to games. I want to get interviews. I've got a couple of people lined up as it is. Getting them on the show again, which I'm looking really forward to that. And breaking things down. I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing is I'll start streaming again, me working on the God of War level when I get a bit more time. There's been some work already made on that, but still a lot to keep going. I'm playing through Cyberpunk to get to some of the work that I've done, so we can kind of talk about that as well now that it's been a year on and seeing all the resurgence. So you might see me stream some of there. Again, this is all on YouTube, so if you haven't, do go subscribe to the Level Design Lobby YouTube channel. And we'll be going through all these. So thank you all for sticking with me. Thank you for the kind support that I've got through this. It has just been a bit of a strange up and down year for myself. as I'm sure many of you have faced your own turbulent times and challenges as well. And I'm just looking forward to getting back to working with the community. I don't feel like I've been part of the LD community really for a few months, and I miss out on that. So we'll be doing a few things. I also want to announce a little bit early, but we'll be talking about soon, is I will be teaching again CGMA at the start of next year, 2023. So if you want to get involved, let me know and we'll get you signed up for that. So thank you all very much for just listening to me, allowing me to communicate just some fun little stories on the side, thoughts and headspaces, and I'm really looking forward to coming back. I'll be coming back with some essential reading, because obviously I've been reading regardless, because I always want to improve on things. I think that's another thing that I found quite hard to balance, is when you're doing the contracting, when you're doing the mentorships, is there's a lot of time helping. And obviously when I say helping, I'm getting paid as well, so it's a fair transaction. But all of that takes a lot of time to obviously improve on things that I can help others with. And I really want to make sure that I'm improving my own skills, which is why it's important for me personally to do that God of War level. Because outside of Hellblade, I've not done many organic, linear, single-player levels. So getting a chance to make my own in a universe that I love is great experience for me, and I really want that to turn out well. And the changes that are already happening to it, oh my goodness, they've made it so much better now than what it was before. It has a better feeling to it, its own kind of distinct memory to that. So I'm looking forward with that one. So yeah, I digress. Thank you all so much. If you do want to reach out to me with any questions, any kind of either sponsorship, getting guests on here now running, or maybe you just want to just ask me some questions just overall, please, you can do so on Twitter, which is @MaxPairs. If you want to email into the show, you can do so at leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, please make sure to subscribe or head over to patreon.com/leveldesignlobby. We have quite a few mentorship slots open up now, which I think will be great for anyone who wants to improve their own skills. So thank you, everyone. Take care, and I'll catch you all next time.